What's going on, guys? Everybody hear me okay so far? Hey, there we are. Got it working this time. Let me try to flip this around here real quick. See if that'll rotate. Bear with me. Nope, won't work that way. Hold on, guys, I'll get this figured out here. Got this phone rigged up on a tripod here. Can you guys hear me okay? Good deal. Can you hear that furnace running in the background, Matthew? Awesome. Thanks, buddy. How you doing? All right, who all we got in here? I know Matthew's in here. Who else has joined us? Pretty cold up in Michigan. Yeah, it's been bouncing back and forth like always here for good old Indiana. It was pretty close to 60 yesterday, and then it was rainy and mid 40s here today. Hey, what's up, Bonehead Assassins? How we doing? Hey, what's up, River Rat? Trying to get stuff set up here in the reloading room tonight, or the gun room. Earlier I tried doing a test run and had it on live and had to end that quickly. What's everybody up to tonight? Just cleaning some of these cases off right now. Gonna run them through the decapping die. And that's probably all I'll do tonight. I don't like to do too much whenever it doesn't have my full attention. Running it through the decapping die is pretty easy. Just popping the primers out. You ended up getting the flu? Man, hate to hear that, buddy. You doing all right? I've heard that's some pretty nasty stuff this year. Trying to see if I can run this stream off of my phone, which is up here, and I got my laptop down here so I can read the comments better. So if my eyes are down here but I'm answering your questions, that's what's going on. Matthew says, just relaxing before I hit the road tomorrow. I drive a truck. I drive through Indiana all the time heading to Chicago. Awesome. So where are you from? Where are you heading out from? River Rat, you've had worse? That's good to hear. Had one guy tell me he thought he felt like he was dying last week from it, so guess you're not that bad yet. Hopefully it doesn't get that way. Midland, Michigan, dedicated account for JB Hunt. Nice. Midland, Michigan. I used to go up to Michigan a little bit, long time ago when I was a kid, to visit my aunt and uncle up that way. Not real sure where Midland is, but Bonehead Assassins, what's up, man? I am from central Indiana, kind of be southwest of Indianapolis just a little bit. Probably an hour and a half south of there, maybe an hour. Doll Boys Outdoors, what's going on, man? How you doing tonight? Just to let you guys know what's going on whenever I'm looking down here, for you guys that just came in, I have my cell phone up here, but I'm trying to read the comments down here on my laptop because it's a little bit bigger, so probably looks a little bit weird on your end. 3 hours north of Detroit. They don't live there anymore, but they live real close to Bad Axe. I think if I recall correctly, I was really young. It was in the thumb portion of the mitten. Oh, you're in Terre Haute? Awesome. I go over to Terre Haute quite a bit. I'm actually pretty close to Spencer, but I have an office I cover in Terre Haute. South Dakota is where I'm at. Awesome. How's the coyotes out there? Bad Axe about an hour from you. That's cool. Hey, what's up, Ohio Outdoors? How we doing? Doing all right, man? I'm gonna get some of this corn tumbling media out of these shell casings. Then I'll run some of these through the decapping die while we're talking. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of videos online. South Dakota looks like it's pretty heavy with dogs. Good to hear, OH Outdoors. We got in here 9 people watching. Let's hit that thumbs up if you guys don't mind. I appreciate it. Yeah, Coffee Outdoors, what's up, buddy? Yeah, I figured you'd be pretty close to Bonehead there. I know Coffee's up in that area. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that, Coffee. Getting some more people in here. Guys, I'm streaming from the phone up here, and then I've got a laptop down here, so it probably looks weird on your end. I'm kind of looking down here and talking, but the stream is up here. Just want to let you know. Jason Carpenter, Central Kentucky. What's up, buddy? How we doing? Read some of these comments here. Better to use foot traps or snares when trapping. I don't bluff anybody, so I'm going to let Coffee Outdoors or somebody else answer that question for you. I haven't trapped in years, and I'm not going to sit here and feed you any bad advice. I just shoot stuff. So used to trap a long time ago, but don't do it anymore. Just don't have a lot of time. Look at this light back here. Light's kind of bright. Yeah, Coffee, I thought you were pretty close to Brazil area. I've got an office there too. Larry Zink, what's your favorite 6.5 Grendel reload bullet and powder? Good question, man. That's what I'm getting ready to decap right now is some, just clean some of this 6.5 Grendel. Typically I would run this through the resizer die right now, but since I'm kind of interacting with you guys on the live stream, I'm just going to run it through the decapping die. But I run the IMR 8208 XBR, and then I'm trying a few different loads right now. I like the 95 grain VMAX and 90 grain TNT, but I'm trying some different stuff. I'm getting away from the 123 SST Hornadies. I ran those factory for a little while, and of course if you put it, you know, in the right spot, it does what it's supposed to, but which is what you want to do every time, don't get me wrong. But I've had some that should definitely be kill shots, and they just don't expand at all. So trying some different reloads, something a little bit hotter, a little bit faster, and that expands a little bit more. Coffee says, I only stream on my phone. Yeah, this is my first time trying it. Well, it's only like my third time streaming. What kind of press do you have? I've just got the Lee single stage right here. Had it for quite a while. I used to do a lot of long range competitions, so I've always used single stage. I don't really have a need for a progressive. Be nice to have one, but the single stage is good for me. Let's see. OH Outdoors, Matthew Dennis, they both have their places where one is better than the other. Yeah, good answer. Leave it to you guys to help him out on that. Coffee's got you covered there. Yeah, Matthew, I'm glad these guys are in here. Got some good people in here to help you out with those questions. Coyote Kryptonite, what's up, buddy? Yeah, man, the 6.5 is awesome. I don't know if you just got in here, but I was just talking about how I really didn't like the Hornady 123 SSTs, and working up some smaller loads, a little bit hotter, something that expands a little bit better. You guys make sure and hit that thumbs up if you don't mind. I'd appreciate it. Yep, Skinner Farms got it covered. What's up, buddy? I need to get caught up here. Let's see. All right. Jason Carpenter, here we go. Getting caught up. Do you hunt with the Ruger American 243 still? Yes, sir. Still do. Haven't been out a whole lot daytime hunting. Had that knee surgery, so that kind of set me back a little bit, but still trying to get out. Hopefully this weekend I will get out in daylight just a little bit, and if it's any daylight stuff, I definitely take the Wrap 243. Outside Michigan City Limits Outdoors, what's up, man? How we doing? OH Outdoors has an RCBS press. That's a good one. Dwayne Smith Jr., what's going on? What's your main hunting gun, he asked. Mine's probably, it's definitely the 6.5 Grendel for coyotes. Just because that's what I have rigged up for night hunting. I have the thermal on that. I really like the 450 Bushmaster for deer hunting. Use the Ruger American Predator 243 for daylight for coyotes, so just kind of depends on what or when I'm hunting, but 6.5 Grendel all around is by far the best, for me anyway. A lot of good calibers out there. Let's see here. Jakey Crack Outdoors says he's hoping to get a live in possibly tomorrow. Good deal. Dwayne Smith, you hunt with 300 Winchester. Awesome. Yeah, mine's the 6.5 Grendel pretty much. 243 and then 450 Bushmaster for deer. Fox Hill Outdoors, what's up, buddy? Appreciate you being in here. Doing all right tonight? Game Cam Wildlife Recon, what's going on? Got 17 in here now. I'm gonna explain this one more time just so you guys don't think, what the heck's this guy doing? So I'm streaming up top here with the cell phone, and I'm kind of been back here a little bit ways away, so I've got my laptop down below the cell phone, and it's easier for me to read the comments on. So that's why I'm looking down here, but trying to talk to you guys. Let's see. Yeah, Bonehead and Coffee are pretty much neighbors. Yeah, you guys check each other's channels out, hang out with each other, support each other. David Tatro, sorry if I messed up your last name there, buddy. Right now, I just made a change from Hornady 123 SSTs. I'll grab this stool real quick. From Hornady 123 SSTs to 90 grain TNT, Nosler TNTs, and getting ready to mix that with some IMR 8208 XBR. Let's see. Jason Carpenter says, do you use anything besides the e-collar for coyotes? Yeah, definitely do. Do a lot of diaphragm culling. Don't do a whole lot of open reed stuff. A little bit howling with open reed, but a lot of diaphragm for howls and pup distress. I usually just go to the e-collar for rabbit distress. There's so many different types of rabbit distress that you can use on the e-collar, so I just let the e-collar handle that. But I like to mix up my diaphragm or my howls with a good diaphragm. Sorry guys, trying to get caught up here. Coffee says, nice deer in the background. Oh yeah, can't see through that. Thanks man, appreciate that. That was right at 160 inches gross. There's a few others in there than one in the freezer that waiting on my dad to get mounted for me. Hopefully this fall, or sorry, this spring. I killed it this fall. Skinner Farms, good deal. I figured you'd probably start looking into the Grindle. It's the way to go, man. It's a heck of a round. What's up, White Bone? Fox Hill says, doing well, playing with the toddler and trying to pay attention. That's good, man. You're a good dad. Got to pay attention to him, man. That's what it's all about. Kid Iraq, what's up? How we doing? Says, ironically, I just walked upstairs from my reloading room. Awesome. Good timing. What are you reloading? Got 20 in here. Let's make sure and hit that thumbs up. You guys check each other's channels out, hang out with each other, show some love. OH Outdoors just shared it out, sir. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it, man. Trying to get caught up on these comments here, fellas. Appreciate you guys being in here. Who makes your 6.5? There's a bunch of different people that make it. I made my own. I don't take that as I milled my own parts, but I built it just from a stripped lower and a stripped upper and put everything exactly like I wanted on it. I think that's, I mean, there's nothing wrong with buying over the counter or off the shelf, whatever you want to call it, but you know, there's just much better barrels out there, a lot better triggers, everything basically. Then you can just, it's like Legos for a kid. You can just make it exactly how you want it. So it's a little bit of everything, not one certain brand or part. Let's see here. Yeah, David, let me know if you have any more questions on the build or anything like that. Skinner Farms, how's therapy going on the knee? Therapy's good, man. It's getting stronger by the day. I'm starting to get into a little bit more aggressive stuff, which is good. I got to get the top part of my quad firing as quick as my left side. It's a little bit slow on the reaction side. Hopefully just part of it, but that's my only concern right now. I'm got a lot better mobility right now, and as you can tell, getting back out hunting a little bit, so that's good. Still get sore in the evenings, but that's part of it. I've been pushing it pretty hard, doing my own rehab, and only seeing them every other week now, so that's good. Appreciate you asking. Kid RX says, haven't been reloading lately, can't shoot as much or free here in South Carolina like I could in Florida. Oh, gotta have private property here for it, or shooting at the range only. That makes sense. Game Cam Wildlife Recon started this channel last month. My other channel is Homestead and Beekeeping channel. Nice. Appreciate you being here, man. Matthew Dennis, my son Logan, says hi. Is that to me, to everybody? Tell Logan we said what's up. Country Time TV. Hey, what's going on? Jakey Crack Outdoors. Sounds good, buddy. Hope you can come back. Brandon Peters, fellow Hoosier here. How's the day job? How's the day job? It's good. Going well. Making loans. Trying to make loans. That's what it's all about. How you doing? Yeah, we've got quite a few Hoosiers in here. It's always good. But I appreciate everybody. Fox Hills in Southeast Indiana. Game Cam Wildlife is in Central Oklahoma. I spent some time out there. Yeah, you guys are picking each other up, supporting each other, good stuff. How much to build your 6.5? It's got a lot of high-end stuff on it, so it's pretty pricey. I don't really know. I've done some budget builds, and I've done some, I guess you'd say expensive builds, and that was a more expensive one, but I wanted to do it right. I'm going to say maybe 1,800 bucks, something like that. That's a guess. Kid Iraq 223 9mm 45. Thinking of getting another Dillon for 300 blackout. 280 AI, nice. Yeah, I was just talking earlier, I don't really need, close that out, sorry. I don't really need a progressive. I just do a lot of rifle shooting, a little bit of handgun, but 223 is the only thing that I could see I'd benefit from a progressive. Everything else, I want to go single stage on it. Whitebone, appreciate you coming in, man. No problem, you're late. I know people are busy. Do you reload for yourself or customers? I only reload for myself. I would love to eventually get into a point where I could publicly do a lot of AR builds for others. I've done a lot of AR builds for friends and family, and then also do some reloading. But right now I'm just doing it for myself. Thumbs up number 18, appreciate you. Game Cam, appreciate that. Matthew Dennis, do you hunt more public or private? As far as deer goes, it's always been more private, but this last year we were hit really hard by EHD, so during bow season, I hunted mainly all public, just because I didn't have very good inventory on my private properties. So I was really hitting the woods hard on public, learned a lot, and looking forward to doing that more next year. I got a lone wolf, can't see it, but I got a lone wolf here and some hawk helium climbing steps. Hunted my butt off, but I didn't have much luck. Saw a lot of deer, but nothing I wanted to shoot. Kid Iraq says, go Gators. Skinner Farm says, need to hook up and do a collab soon. Yeah, for sure, man. Country Time TV. Got 16 in here, 17 likes. Appreciate you guys being in here. Matthew Dennis says, is the Lone Wolf stand worth the money? Yes, sir. It sure is. I went with the Lone Wolf Alpha, and then I rigged up. I used the Sitka Tool Bucket backpack straps. Sorry, I keep getting text here. I used the Sitka Tool Bucket backpack straps and integrated that into the stand, and I think it's worth it. I know it's pretty pricey, but that thing should last you the rest of your life if you treat it well. Coffee says, we hunted public about 8 years ago, but now we have a few private properties that we trap on and let us deer hunt. Good deal. Country Time TV. Let me see if I can point to this. What's your biggest buck? That one right there. That one's in the Hoosier record book. It's right at 160. And to me, it's not all about the inches. That thing did score 160, but before I field dressed that thing weighed 278 pounds. It was just a unreal deer. I don't know if you can see that very well, but yeah, that's the one right there, 12 point. And there's two others in there right now, and then one other in the freezer. Nice, Coyote Kryptonite. I think we've been talking about that a little bit. Did you get the Revolt? Fox Hill says, I've never deer hunted public. I gotta restart that batch there. Fox Hill says, I've never deer hunted public, but I hunt public land turkeys out west. Yeah, Fox Hill, he goes all over the place and chases those turkeys. That's awesome. White bone, 278 pounds. Yeah, it's by far the biggest one I've ever seen, dead or alive. My dad's been hunting for 40 plus years, and biggest one he's ever seen. It was a hoss. Kid Iraq says, I'm an instructor and was USPC, tactical, and still shooter. Nice. Never went to the range with less than 1,000 4 days a week. Jeez. Did you do all that on a single stage, or you already have a progressive? You need a Dillon with an auto drive. Just set up everything and flip the on switch and watch that thing do the work. Mule Kicker, what's going on? Any experience with the Primo's Gen 3 trigger sticks? I need something for hogs that isn't real expensive. Man, I don't know if I have the Gen 3, but I do have a Primos. Man, is that a Gen 3? I can run and get that here in just a second. It's upstairs in the garage, but I'll grab it. It might be a Gen 2, but it's just the single pole trigger stick, and I love that thing. I shoot off of a tripod now, but I killed a lot of coyotes off of that Primos trigger stick. David says, could you talk about your thermal scope? Do you use a handheld also? Yeah, David, I do. I use Pulsar on both. I started out this coyote season with a Sightmark Wraith. That's digital night vision. And then I now use, I just dumped that corn media in there. I now use the Pulsar Thermion rifle scope. And then I use the Pulsar Helion, the handheld scanner. Both of them are thermal. Game Cam says he has some big bucks on his place, but I live in the city. Got lots of game cam shots of them. Man, there's some YouTube channels out there that I think they call it, I'll probably get this wrong, but suburban deer hunting or something like that. But they're basically just walking around in subdivisions, just shooting monster bucks. It's all with bows, of course, because you're around hills or homes. But man, it's just crazy how big the bucks are. Later, Fox Hill. Appreciate it, man. Benny Bass Fishing, what's going on, man? How we doing? Team Ambush, what's going on? Glad you're here. No problem, Skinner Farms. Kid Iraq says, can you convince my wife, talking about getting auto drive for Progressive or for a Dylan? I wish, man. I'd help you out if I could, but that's a tough sell. Then if you get one, I'd probably want one too, so better not go down that rabbit hole. Game Cam says, if I shot one, it would go die in my neighbor's yard probably. Yep, you're probably right. David says, how long will you do a coyote stand? For me, it kind of depends on what I'm doing or where I'm at. I kind of know a lot of my properties where I hunt, and I know ones where I should spend a little bit more time, and I know ones that usually produce quickly if they're going to, and I leave quickly. But on average, 30 minutes. But it kind of depends. I think the more you go, the more you'll kind of pick up on if it feels like the right spot or feels like a good area. But I'd say 30 minutes probably, good average. And to be honest, killed most of mine probably within the first 12 minutes probably of each stand. The majority. That's not to say that I haven't killed any, 35, 40 minutes. Outside Michigan caught 4 steelhead today. Nice. Good job, buddy. Benny Bass, I'm doing good, man. I was just going to do some, I was going to pop the primers out on some of this dirty brass. But just kind of hanging out here now, reading through these comments. Mule Kicker has a Pulsar Apex, looking for another scope for scanning and guest. Yeah. I've been looking at bearing optics. Yep, those are good. Another one is new company, AGM or AGN maybe. A little bit cheaper, but they have some pretty good thermal stuff coming out. Team Ambush says, what's in the mug? That's Diet Coke and Woodford Reserve. Good old whiskey. Yeah, you guys are checking each other out. That's good. Show each other some support. Hang out. Rifles were nice as well. Yeah, I bet. I bet. Cheers to you, man. What are you drinking? $37 dogs this year. Not bad, but could do better. Awesome. What kind of time frame is that? Is that for a whole year, or do you guys have a certain season? Good job though, man. October to January. Good stuff. Nice work. Benny Bass, Trijicon stuff. Yeah, I used to use an ACOG in the military a little bit, and I have actually never looked through one of their thermals, but yeah, the REAP, IR, all that stuff just looks awesome. A little bit out of my price league, but yes, I have a Trijicon RMR on my Glock, But yeah, I would really like to have one of their thermals. Looks like good stuff. All their stuff's built really well. Last video of ours, it took forever to get them to commit. 2 different groups, they all hung up. Yep, that happens. Later in the year, it seems like they hang up more and more to me. Season in Alberta is end of October till end of February. Yeah, we end March 15th here. Bohemian beer, never had it. Whitebone says, you were in the military. What branch? I was in the Army. I was in the Army. I was actually in the Guard. Reap IRs, yeah, good stuff. I would love to have one, but can't afford it right now. Maybe someday. Put together a 12.5-inch grindle with suppressor, same length as with the regular, or with the suppressor attached. For sure, man. I've been thinking about building a shorter AR or a shorter grindle, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm really happy with mine. That being said, I'll probably end up building one. It's the way things usually go. But for now, I'm going to hold off. I've got this laying here. That I was thinking about turning into a blackout, and I've got a complete lower in the gun safe. I was thinking about turning that into a blackout, or just getting a different barrel for that and turning it into a grindle, short barrel grindle. Team Ambush ended up with 2. Come in, shot 1. Good deal. Thanks, Kryptonite. Appreciate that, man. Game Cam, yes. I spent about 4.5 months at Fort Sill. Unfortunately, in the winter. Seemed like there was never a day without ice on the ground. That's all it was ice. Never any snow. And wind. I went from Fort Sill straight to Fort Sam Houston down in Texas, and spent another 4 or 5 months there. Thank you, Whitebone. Appreciate that. Matthew Dennis says I'd do a blackout. Yeah, I thought about that, mainly just because I do have a suppressor, but I don't know. I already have a short barrel 223, long barrel 223. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to have one, but I kind of want something that I would hunt more with, and I don't think I would hunt a lot of coyotes with 300 blackout, but I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. You'll probably see a video here in the next year or so of me building both of them. Doing something stupid like that. Yeah, Game Ken says, one thing I don't like about Oklahoma is the wind. Terrible. Yes. That and the ice was all I remember while I was out there. Ambush says, next video I get one at 27 yards, self-filmed, wish I could night hunt. Yeah. Ambush, where are you at again? You're Saskatchewan, right? Benny Bass, appreciate you coming in, man. I know how that goes, going to get the kid from practice. Be safe, buddy. David says, rented a Halo LR past weekend. Really? Bad picture and bad battery life. Really? That's surprising. Huh. I haven't looked into them a whole lot, but what I've seen, which is probably in warmer conditions, is super clear picture. But yeah, you get stuff out in cold weather and it all acts differently. No kidding. Lots of elk around Fort Sill now. Interesting. I'm actually planning a trip to Colorado very last week of October to hunt elk this year. So I need to start thinking of a way to start doing some videos on that, getting ready for that. I got to start getting in shape after this knee gets better. It's just going to be a complete different ball game out there. I've been out there on vacations, Colorado, Montana, all that stuff, but never have been out there to hunt, so looking forward to it. Appreciate that outside Michigan. Hit that thumbs up if you guys don't mind. Got 19 in here. Appreciate you guys being in. Longest kill shot on a coyote. Man, that's tough. Not real long, really. Probably 275-ish, probably. I do a lot of night hunting around here, and I don't like to take a shot if I'm not comfortable, of course. Probably 275-ish, something like that. White bone, I've used the ATN night scope. It wasn't worth the money. Yes, sir. I had one 2 years ago for probably 2 weeks. Just problems after problems. I think they have a newer version now of the night scope type that I've heard do a little bit better. Some of their more expensive stuff, the thermal stuff, I heard is a lot better, but the X sight that I used was not good at all. Kyle Neal, favorite caliber for coyotes? Good old 6.5 Grendel right here. I plan to do some decapping, but been hanging out with you guys and reading these comments. But yeah, 6.5 Grendel, working up some reloads here. Matthew Dennis, no worries, buddy. My dad was in here last week and he was asking the same thing. I think it should be right, maybe underneath the video. My screen looks different since I'm doing this live, but maybe under the video, I'm not sure, buddy. Do you sell your coyotes? No, I don't, but next year I'm going to. I think a couple of years ago, I started putting them in the deep freezer, and then one of the bags came off of them, and my wife went out to get some food or something and saw a coyote tongue hanging out. So that put the stops to that. But next year, the prices are up a little bit better around here, it seems like. So next year, I'm going to buy a separate deep freeze, and then I think I will start selling them. $130 for each one. Oh, I was saying our prices were up, and I think those are around 25 or 30 bucks. Holy cow. Yeah, I would do that, absolutely. And the only way I will do it for 25 bucks is if they'll buy them whole, but I don't even know if that's going to happen. But 130 bucks, man, I'd be all over that. How much does your 6.5 weigh? My 6.5, well, mine would have the suppressor on it, and with the scope on it, it's a little over 9 pounds. It's pretty lightweight build. Coffee's got you covered on the like button. Kid Iraq, thoughts on 22 250? Awesome. Hell of a round. Screaming fast, hitting hard. Yeah, I like the 250 and the 243 both. Matthew Dennis, don't worry about it, buddy. I appreciate you trying to find it. Kyle Neal, what part of Indiana are you from? He's from Midwest, around Crawfordsville. I'm from Central, around the Bloomington, Spencer area. That's southwest of Indianapolis, probably an hour. Skinned and dressed out. Yeah, I figured that, but that's well worth it if it's 130 bucks for each one. Whole one I get 50 to 60. Yeah, I'd be all over that. That's what I would be doing. Some coyotes I've seen around here this year have a mange. Yeah, I've heard of some here around Indiana have a mange, but I don't think it's been too bad. I know some areas are really bad. Yeah, coffee. That's what I was thinking. That was just hearsay for me. I never did see any actual proof or anything on that, but I had a friend telling me that they were averaging around 20, 25 bucks. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but that's what I was told. That's what got me interested. David, no problem, buddy. Appreciate you being in here. Let me know if you have any other questions on that 6.5. Have fun hanging out with the wife. Larry Zink, I was using the 6.5 Grindle. Game Cam says back in the 80s I'd get $14 for a nice coyote, 8 for raccoons, 50 to 60 bobcat, $1 a possum. Yeah, I used to trap a lot with my dad when I was young. That would have been late 80s, early 90s. I was really young. All right, Coffee. Appreciate you being in here, buddy. Take care. Got 25 for the one I sold, getting the rest tan. Good deal, man. Ambush just bought a Tika 204, a little light for the wind, but nice flat shooter. Yeah, screaming fast. Yep, always use 243. Good stuff. Kyle Neal, what's your thoughts on the Creedmoor? I think the Creedmoor is an awesome round for long range shooting. I know it's getting more popular here in Indiana for deer hunting. I think it's probably a little much for coyote hunting, but for the right application, I think it's a heck of a round. The ballistics are awesome. I know it's super popular right now, but all I've read and all I've seen, my dad just bought one. I don't have one, just because I have that 6.5 Grindle and some other stuff. But yeah, I know it's ballistics wise, it's pretty impressive. Next year I'm going to sell my coyotes to a live farm. They're buying them for $100 each in North Carolina. Wow, good stuff, man. I would be all over that too. Hey, what's up, Robinson Prospecting? Appreciate you stopping in. Kyle uses the Creedmoor for deer and he loves it. Yeah, yep, that's it's getting more and more popular. My dad just bought one this last year. Didn't get a chance to use it on one, but that's what he's going to be using. Got 19 people in here. You guys make sure and hang out with each other. Check each other's channels out. Keep getting these texts popping up here. Matthew says, what would you recommend for binos? Vortex for sure. Yep, good old Vortex. Unquestioned warranties. Awesome customer service. They have different kind of price tiers, you know. We got some extremely awesome glass binos that I would never need, and then some budget mid-price stuff, and then the budget stuff. But yeah, check out Vortex. I've got the Diamondbacks, I think they are. Whitebone, good to see you, man. Appreciate you being in here. Thanks for stopping in. Hey, no problem. Yeah, I've been using those Vortex for quite a while now. Probably, I don't know, they're a newer version, so I think it's only probably 5 or 6 years ago I bought those, but they've been awesome the whole time. All right, Kryptonite, appreciate you being in here, man. Have a good one. I'm gonna pop some of these primers out here, guys. You guys keep chatting away, keep talking. Got 13 in here now. I'll probably keep this going for another, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes. Starting to wind down a little bit now. What do you guys want to talk about? What's going on? Outside Michigan city limits, outdoors, says, how do you press the lead in there? So what happens, this right here, all I'm doing, this part is just decapping, taking the primers out. So you can see here, this one is a fired primer, and this one here, I just ran through the decapping die right here. So all I'm doing there is taking the primer out, and then I'll run it through, clean the brass again. But you use the same thing. I don't have one out right now, but you use one of these dies. You use one of these dies right here, and then once your case is all primed with a new primer in it, you put it back in here with your powder in it, and then you'll have a different die up here. You just set your bullet right there, the lead, the bullet, and then you just run that straight up, and then there's a knob up here to determine the depth of how far you seat the bullet into the case. So it's all done on the press. Ambush says he's all out of Bohemian. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming in. Kid Iraq. No, I don't bass fish, man. I used to a bunch when I was a kid, like all the time, but I don't anymore. Don't anymore. I miss it sometimes, but probably good I don't have another hobby like that. Do you bass fish quite a bit? How many uses do you get out of each casing? So it kind of depends on how hot of a round you're shooting. The more powder that you put in, of course, the faster the bullet's going to be, but that's also more damaging to your brass. So it kind of depends on how hot you run your rounds. But probably on average, I don't run them extremely hot, but I probably get out of good Hornady brass probably 7 or 8 reloads. which isn't bad. Let's see here. What bullet I'm going to be running in these right here? I'm going to run for now some of the 95 grain VMAX Hornadies, but I'm also going to be reloading at the same time to do some ladder testing, some of the 90 grain TNT, the nozzlers. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Reloading's pretty fun. You can learn a lot, you know. Make them just how you want them. Hot or not hot, and just whatever type of bullet you want to use, different powders. All right, Matthew, appreciate you coming in. Have a good one, buddy. See you on the next one. Guys, we're about an hour in here. I'm going to start winding this one down, I think. Appreciate all you guys being in here, though. Anybody else have any questions before we head out? Paul Hendren, what's going on? I noticed that you didn't put lube on those. What do you use if you... What do you have if I... What does... Sorry, I'm trying to read that comment there. Oh, good question. I'm just so I'm just running these, Paul. I'm just running these through the decapping die, so no lube needed. I do have the lube here, but just because I'm trying to interact here on the live stream, and then also run these cases through, I just decided to pop the decapping die in, so it doesn't resize the case. But yeah, good question. I would typically just roll these out and then spray these with the one shot and then run them through the resizing die and decap at the same time. But since I'm kind of paying attention here at the live stream, I didn't want to worry about messing one up and not getting enough lube on it, getting one stuck. Outside Michigan, I want to shoot out to a mile. How hot you think it should be? Man, that depends on caliber, barrel length. It doesn't even need to be super hot to shoot out to a mile. It depends on what caliber. Conditions, altitude. There's a lot, you know, there's a lot of determining factors that go into that. You can do out to a mile now with factory ammo. Kid Iraq VMAX, so good in my opinion. Yep, good stuff for sure. 308 out to a mile, woo! I used to shoot competitions, F-class competitions at Atterbury out to 1200. And that was pushing it pretty hard for 308. They were limping in there. Pretty softly, and I was doing my own reloads back then. This is one of my targets up here. That rifle, that's 10 shots there. Not at 1200, of course, but that was 0 at 200 yards. But 308, that's going to be a struggle to get it out to a mile. It would take me a while to do some load developing and figuring ballistics on that. I can't just throw out a number, you know what I mean? Paul says, just wanted to know, he loads a lot. Good deal, man. Yeah, just playing it safe tonight. Just decapped a few, didn't even, I don't know, only decapped 10 or 12. Just wanted to pay attention here to the stream. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, I probably couldn't do that today. I was shooting a bunch back then. Shooting a bunch. Had a pretty fancy, just a bench rest I always shot prone, laying on my belly, but had a pretty fancy rig. Big old scope, 50 power. A lot of fun. Miss those days. Yeah, she was pretty accurate. It wasn't a light rifle, but man, it point her in the right direction. It does its job. Yeah, I always shot back then 10-shot groups. That was back in probably, looking at that target now, probably back in like 2012 maybe. Could you show it? Show what? What do you want me to show there outside Michigan? Jake Ramsey, what's going on? Kind of winding down the stream here. Glad to have you. Reloading for 6.5 Grendel. Probably can't see that, but just taking some primers out on the decapping die. Oh, the gun. Actually, it's broken down right now. I've still got the barrel and the action in the gun safe, but I sold the stock and the scope. I just didn't have a need for a 50 power scope anymore, and that was 8 years ago. So I actually sold it. Jake, gas gun, yeah, 6.5 Grendel gas gun, yep. That's the one. I don't know if you watch my other videos, but the one I've killed most of the coyotes with. Run the thermal on it. Yeah, outside Michigan, I missed that rifle, but just getting out of it, I didn't have a need for a 1,000-yard rifle just taking up room in my gun safe. I kept the barrel and the action just because I like that part of it so much, but I didn't need the scope. So rifle to my left. This is just one that I'm kind of working on, tinkering, not knowing what I'm going to do with it yet. It's 223. I thought about taking this and either doing 300 blackout. Right now it's got the 223 barrel on it with the muzzle device for my suppressor. I run the Griffin Armament Recce 7 suppressor. So as long as I get these taper mounts, I can just unscrew the suppressor, throw it on any of the rifles I have. I think I've got 6 different taper mounts like this. But right now it's 223. Thinking about doing 300 blackout or 6.5 Grendel short barrel. Kyle Neal, appreciate you, buddy. Means a lot. Appreciate you being in here and appreciate you watching the videos. Jake, you don't have any gas guns anymore? Yeah, I sold the scope for the 1,000-yard competitions, if that's what you're talking about. I didn't sell the thermal scope. Shooting the 6 point. So Jake, the 1,000 and 1,200 yard competitions was a 308, and the furthest I've taken the Grendel was 685 so far. .300 blackout or 6.5 Creedmoor. In that, it would be 6.5 Grendel, because you can't do a 6.5 Creedmoor in an AR platform in AR-15. It would have to be AR-10 for the Creedmoor because it's long action. What scope was the 1,000-yard scope? It was a Citron S3 10 to 50 power. Yeah, Jake's on it. Got to run the AR-10 for the 6.5 Creedmoor. Guys, I'm gonna get ready and shut this one down. Jake shoots a lot of long range. Good stuff, man. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Figuring out the ballistics and reading the wind and all that stuff. It's a good time. But guys, I appreciate all you guys being in here. Been going a little over an hour so far. Gonna go ahead and shut this one down tonight. Jake says, can get expensive. Yes, it can. Outside Michigan, no problem, buddy. You have a good one. Appreciate you coming in. You guys, I'm gonna head out. You guys make sure and stay tuned for the next one. Gonna get back to hunting some coyotes here real soon. Got some crappy weather this week, but gonna be working on coyotes and then working on that beaver lake too. What's the big buck over your left shoulder? It's a 12 point, scored right around 160, weighed 278 pounds. I'll take you in there and show you real quick before I close this off. Outside Michigan, no problem. I'll be here next time. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. All right, I'm gonna pop this out of here. Bear with me just a second. Let's see, can we turn this around? There we go. That's still working? All right. So this one here, yeah, 159 and some change. That one's not very big, but I was pretty young when I killed that. First one I had mounted. There's an 8 point here. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. 8 point here with the light that I have hanging off of it for my YouTube videos. Just a typical 8, good bow kill. Bow right there. And then you can't see that one very well, but that's just a good symmetrical 10 there. And then one more in the freezer. Dad's supposed to be mounting that one this spring here. Check out the mass on this. Some good mass measurements up there. Just a freak of a buck. Found dead by a farmer back in the late 70s. That one right there with all that mass, and I forget the points on it, but we're talking I'm going to count them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, that buck, I mean, that's easily in the 200 inch range. This right here, I can't get my hand, barely get my hand around the main beams. Yeah, that's 200 inches all day. Oops. Trying to walk around here and show you guys stuff. All right, guys. I am gonna shut this bad boy down. Appreciate all you guys being in here. I'm gonna call it quits for tonight. You guys make sure and stay tuned for the next one, and we'll go from there. All right, Jake, no problem, buddy. Hey, we'll see you guys later.